Today, I'm going to talk about the 10 strongest characters from that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Warning, this will contain spoilers from the light novel, up to volume 22. Characters like Milim Nava won't be ranked, even though he's obviously one of the most important beings in the lore, because that's just lame. Anyway, starting off at number 10, we have Masayuki Honjo. Masayuki is known as the hero of the West, and at first he looks like the biggest fraud in the series. He gets praised for things he barely understands, and somehow every situation bends in his favor. But later, the truth behind him becomes much more important. Masayuki is connected to Rudra Nam ul Nazca, the original hero and former emperor who once fought Guy Crimson. Because of this connection, Masayuki eventually becomes the vessel for Rudra's will and power. His ultimate skill is King of Heroes, which allows him to summon heroes from the past with much of their original power and experience restored. So Masayuki can suddenly turn a fight into a reunion of legends. After Rudra awakens within him, Masayuki's combat ability rises massively. He can use Rudra's experience and swordsmanship, while his luck-based abilities still make the world itself seem to support him. He ranks at number 10 because his strength depends heavily on Rudra and his summons, but once that power is active, he becomes one of the strongest humans in the story. Moving on at number 9, we have Zigguan. Zigguan was originally an injured insect that Rimuru found in the Great Jura Forest. Rimuru saved him, gave him part of his own body, and later placed him in the labyrinth. From there, Zigguan became one of the top fighters of Tempest. He's trained by Veldora inside the labyrinth, where death isn't always the end, so Zigguan gains an absurd amount of battle experience. He also has Rimuru's cells inside his body, giving him incredible durability and regeneration. After the later battles, Zigguan becomes the Mist Lord and gains the ultimate skill Illusion King Mephisto. This lets him control not only illusions in space, but also the whole battlefield inside his own power. After the battle with Zelenus, he also receives a massive boost from Zelenus' power. Zigguan can also use Rimuru's Nihility energy, and that alone puts him above most demon lords. He ranks below the true dragon and god tier monsters because they have bigger existence, deeper authority, and more complete world-level power. Our next entry at number 8 is Diablo. Diablo is the Primordial Black, one of the oldest demons in existence, and one of the strongest members of Tempest. Before joining Rimuru, Diablo already had a terrifying reputation in the demon world. He was known for refusing normal evolution because he enjoyed battles where he had to push himself with technique instead of relying on only raw power. So his combat skill is abnormal even among the Primordials. After Rimuru names him, Diablo becomes even stronger and eventually gains the ultimate skill Temptation King Azazel. This skill allows him to control the surrounding space, affect energy, and trap opponents in his own world. Diablo can also use Nihility energy from Rimuru. This gives him a massive boost and lets him threaten enemies who should normally be far above him in raw existence value. In Volume 22, his performance against Feldway proves how dangerous his technique has become, even against superior raw power. He ranks here because Diablo isn't only strong, he's clever, experienced, almost impossible to psychologically break. But the characters above him are mountains he just can't climb. Next at number 7, we have Chloe Albert. Chloe is the legendary hero and one of the most important characters in the entire timeline of Tensura. She was originally one of the children Rimuru helped, but her story becomes much bigger because of time travel, Chronoa, and the endless loops connected to the world's history. Chloe possesses the Manas Chronoa, and her ultimate skill is Space-Time King Yog-Sothoth. This lets her control time and space, making her dang near impossible to beat. Her experience is also ridiculous. Having lived through repeated timelines and thousands of years of conflict, she has fought through history again and again, and carried the burden of saving the world multiple times. Chloe can fight on the level of the strongest demon lords. She has also been able to stand against Milim, even though Milim is one of the worst matchups for almost anyone. She ranks below the top 6 because the later monsters have even greater destructive power or existence values. But when it comes to time abilities and heroic power, Chloe is one of the strongest characters in Tensura. Moving on to number 6, we have the most violent, the most diabolical, the most dangerous Velzard. Velzard is one of the true dragons and is known as the White Ice Dragon. She is the elder sister of Veldora and Velgrind, and she's closely connected to Guy Crimson, but calling her an ice dragon almost undersells what she actually does. Among the true dragons, Velzard is one of the most dangerous because of her ability to control fixation. Velgrind represents acceleration, heat, and motion. Velzard is the opposite. She slows, fixes, preserves, and stops. Her cold is the freezing of movement, change, and state. Her ultimate skill is Patience King Gabriel, and through it she can lock things into place with insane precision. Eternal World creates a frozen domain where Velzard can circulate her energy and maintain a near-perfect defense, while her opponent is trapped inside a world that refuses to move. Velzard also has an enormous existence as a true dragon. She once disciplined Veldora, held her ground against Milim, and forced Guy Crimson to fight seriously. Velzard ranks this high because as a true dragon, even destroying her body doesn't erase her existence. She is a law of stillness given form. She is a natural disaster with intelligence, experience, and one of the nastiest control abilities in Tensura. But there are still more powerful characters ahead. At number 5, we have the being who seems divine at first, Feldway. Feldway is the king of the phantoms and the leader of the 7 angels of origin. He was originally created to serve Milim Nava. Among the angels, he is a special and very dangerous existence. Feldway's true body was a special one granted by Milim Nava, and he kept it hidden in a separate space for a very long time. Most of the time, he used a substitute body, so his full strength was not always shown. Later in the story, Feldway becomes connected to Michael and gains access to several angelic powers. With Michael, he gains abilities such as Castle Guard and control over other angelic systems. Feldway becomes impossibly powerful because of his true body, ancient experience, time stop, angelic authority, and the powers inherited through Michael's side of the system. He's a schemer, and one of Milim Nava's greatest servants turned into a final war monster. But even with all that, the characters above him are even more dangerous. Moving on to number 4, we have Milim Nava. Milim Nava is one of the oldest demon lords and is known as the Destroyer. She's the daughter of Milim Nava and Lucia, which already places her above almost everyone. Milim's power comes from her draconic nature and her ultimate skill, Wrathful King Satanael. When she enters Stampede mode, her powers continue to grow as long as she remains enraged. Her strongest attacks can destroy on a scale that very few characters can survive. She also has thousands of experience and extremely high combat instincts. Even Guy Crimson, who's one of the oldest and strongest demon lords, treats Milim as a true equal. She also uses Stardust, the special energy connected to Milim Nava. That makes attacks like Drago Nova different from normal Magicule-based destruction. Her power comes from the deepest origin point of the world. During the later volumes, Milim becomes one of the biggest threats because her rampage is almost impossible to control. She ranks above Feldway because when Satanael and Stampede are pushed too far, Milim's destructive power becomes catastrophic even by true dragon standards. Top 3 now, and at number 3 we have Guy Crimson. Guy Crimson is the Primordial Red, the first demon lord, and one of the oldest living beings in the world. He's fought almost every major monster in the series. Guy was the one who fought Eva Rage in the past when the world-destroying dragon was still a mindless calamity. He has also fought Milim, Rudra, Velzard, and many other top-tier characters across history. His experience is one of the biggest reasons he is ranked this high. His ultimate skill is Pride King Lucifer. This allows him to copy skills he has seen and understand them at an extremely high level. Guy has copied abilities from characters like Velzard, and he has enough skill to fold those techniques into his own fighting style. Guy also has a Genesis-grade sword, extremely high energy, and one of the best combat minds in the series. He ranks below Eva Rage and Rimuru because their current power is simply unmatched. Moving on, at number 2, we have Eva Rage. Eva Rage is known as the world-destroying dragon, aka one of the supreme threats in the entire story. Eva Rage was originally a being that even Milim Nava had to steal away, and its existence is connected to the birth of cryptids. For a long time, Eva Rage was more like a mindless disaster than a thinking enemy, but after awakening and gaining emotion, it becomes even more dangerous. It gains hatred, will, and the desire to destroy the world connected to Milim Nava. Eva Rage has an enormous amount of energy, far beyond most characters. Velgrind and the others treat it as a disaster-class threat. It can damage top-tier beings, interfere with advanced regeneration, and overwhelm enemies through pure destructive force. By the end of Volume 22, Eva Rage is no longer just an old sealed monster. It becomes the central threat moving forward, with the cryptids following behind it. Eva Rage ranks at number 2 because its raw power and destructive nature place it above almost every character alive. The only reason it isn't number 1 is because Rimuru already has reached a level beyond normal comparison. So now, at number 1, we have Rimuru Tempest. Rimuru Tempest is the main protagonist and the strongest character in the story up to Volume 22. He starts as a simple slime after being reincarnated from another world, but his growth rate is completely abnormal. At first, Rimuru's greatest power is Predator, which lets him absorb and analyze enemies. This evolves again and again until he reaches skills that belong on a godlike level. After becoming a true demon lord, then a true dragon, Rimuru reaches a completely different stage of existence. His most powerful powers are his ultimate skills, Azathoth, and Shub-Niggurath, along with the Mana CL. CL manages Rimuru's abilities and analyzes his enemies to find their weaknesses. Not only that, CL creates new skills and improves his combat performance. Rimuru also gains access to Nihility Collapse, the destructive energy once connected to Milim Nava. This energy is stored inside his imaginary space and can be used for overwhelming attacks, creation, and even world-level abilities. By the later volumes, Rimuru can interfere with souls, information particles, time, space, dimensions, and skills. He can also absorb enemies, copy powers, create abilities, revive allies, and move through time and space. Whew, that's a mouthful. In Volume 21, it's revealed that Rimuru could recreate the world if he wanted to, because of that massive amount of Nihility energy accumulated inside of him. That puts him beyond normal demon lords, true dragons, and even most ancient beings. Alien X is scared of this little slime. Rimuru ranks at number 1 because he has the best combination of, well, everything. In short, he's him. If you like this list, check out the video on your screen to see the top 10 strongest characters from Mushoku Tensei. Go ahead, click it.